Hey, what's happening? This is Chris, the Progtologist, backstage or upstairs and backstage or to the side of the stage. I don't know. We're here at the Chameleon Club in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where I'm sitting here with Andrea Ferro from Lacuna Coil. What's going on, man?
It's all good, all good. We're getting excited for the show tonight, and we have a couple of days off, so it's going to be a lot of energy. We can push out tonight, and we can rest for a couple of days. So.
Couple of days off. How often does it happen in a tour like this? Like once a week, twice a week?
Yeah, it's the only time we have 2 days off in a row. Usually it's like 3 shows a day off, 4 shows a day off, or 2 shows a day off. But now it's 2 days off in a row, so it's pretty cool.
That's pretty amazing. It's probably good for the voice, right?
Yeah, for everything. You know, you need to just also kind of take a break with your mind from the touring mode, you know, do something normal for a couple of days, go to the movie theater, do laundry, just walk to a mall, go to eat a proper meal, you know.
Nice. Do you feel like on a day like today, it's like 95 degrees outside? Like, does it get hotter in here, or do they do a good job of regulating that?
No, we've played here a few times already, and it's always really warm. So tonight we're gonna sweat, especially the stage clothes we have. It's kind of heavy, so it's gonna be a sweaty show for sure.
So the stage getup, is it a lot like what's inside the album artwork?
Yes, we're wearing the same suits we were wearing on the tour bus picture or on the album booklet.
Right.
Yeah, the white kind of straight jacket looking things.
Nice. So let's talk about the new album, 8th studio album, Delirium. Quite a departure for you guys, huh? Like a little bit of a different style of music.
Yeah, we wanted to refresh. You know, we have sort of a new lineup as well. Me, Marco, and Christina, we are always there, but there are 2 new guys. One is the drummer Ryan Folden, which has been with us actually since almost 9-10 years now. He was working for us before as a drum tech, and then has been slowly replacing Chris on drums while he was taking a break because he had a baby girl or he was starting to move away from the band. So he's actually really playing with us like 5 or 6 years, and
Nice.
we know him almost 10 years now.
Right.
It's relatively new, but it's the first record where we could use him as a drummer, so it's quite a different rhythmical patterns
Sure.
the record. And then now the record has been recorded by the 4 of us, and then Diego, the new guy we're trying live, he did a couple of lead guitars on the album together with some other guests. We had Mark from Nothing More playing on one song on
They toured with you during Broken Crown, right?
They did their first national tour in America with us, and we stayed friends. When they came to Milan, our hometown in Italy, to play their own show, we went out for
That's
pizza
cool.
and beers. You know.
That's awesome.
So we're still friends, and so when we needed somebody to play the solos, we asked to all our friends. So Mark, there's Miles from Alter Bridge is doing another solo.
Oh, wow, cool.
And then Diego, this guy we're working with us live now, and then these 2 more guys. One that was the engineer of the record in Milan, Marco Barusso, and then another friend, Alessandro Laporta, which lives in London, but that's also a metal guy, just a friend, you know, that we know
Sure.
he could do a good job on a solo. So it's actually the first record without a proper, let's say, guitar player, because Marco, our bass player, recorded all the guitars beside the leads.
Oh, wow.
And the keyboards and the bass, and so this is actually the record with more guitar solos we ever had. So there's quite a lot of different combination that make the sounds quite refreshing for us. You know, it's a bit heavier, darker. We also took something from the past in the atmospheres, but also new approach from newer bands. We've been listening a lot of new bands, a lot trying to understand how kids nowadays approach the songwriting compared to how when we learned. You know, it's important to don't underestimate new people. You know, just because somebody is younger than you doesn't mean has nothing to tell you, or to teach you. You know, so it's important to keep. We wanted a record that was sounding for 2016, you know, Lacuna Coil in 2016. Nothing completely different, obviously, but also not something dated, you know, something that would sound, okay, it's another Lacuna Coil record, you know.
Absolutely. Well, and I think as long as you and Christina are the vocalists, it's always going to sound like Lacuna Coil.
Exactly.
But it brings up an interesting point. To me, the thing that stood out to me most in how different the music was, besides, like, there's a lot of musical differences that I can pick up on, but vocally, you guys, like, your vocals are way more aggressive than I ever remember them being. Yeah. And Christina is doing more of a operatic thing than I've ever remember her doing. I mean, she's always had those notes. Yeah. But like stylistically, it seemed was this a purposeful approach on you guys, or is that just what the music called for?
Music was definitely called for a heavier approach, and this time around we wanted to really follow the music and don't try to compromise too much. Don't try to make them sound like Lacuna Coil, like you would expect from Lacuna Coil. We wanted to just go with the flow of the music. If something heavy was coming, so we were adding some double bass, some growl vocals, instead of trying to polish it and make it more like we used to be.
Right.
So without thinking too much about having a radio hit or something like that, more towards the music was calling for that, so go for it. Go heavier on the rhythmical section, go heavier on the vocals. It is just what the music. I think it's a similar approach that we took when we did Comalize or Karma Code, because back then we were a younger band, so we didn't think too much. Once you become a more established band, you start thinking what people is expecting from you in a way, even unconsciously, even if you don't write on purpose, like thinking, but you still know, okay, this is a song that could work for radio, or this is a song that could work for the fans.
Absolutely.
While this time we just did a record mostly for ourselves, and then also for the people, but we thought that the only way to do something spontaneous and refreshing was to just do as we have always done when we were younger.
Right. So you say like when you were younger, you do more aggressive type stuff because that's what was. So the growling vocals and the aggressiveness of that's kind of a young man's game. Like, have you found that like on this tour, is it taking more of a toll on your voice? Are you finding that, it's a little more difficult on your body or whatever, like your technique or whatever it is?
No, because I always done it, even if not, we haven't used it much in the band,
Right.
So I knew how to do it. It's obviously you have to pick it up a little bit on tour to get used to it, but it's not really difficult for me. I think it's more difficult to sing a normal kind of voice.
Right.
Not more difficult, but it's different because you have to be more careful. There's more control involved. While screaming, you can kind of push more,
Let it loose, yeah.
And so without thinking too much. And I know some technique to don't overdo it on the throat, because if you do it always on the throat, then you're gonna suffer during the tour. So when you growl on a higher notes, it's easier to use technique on the higher part of the mouth. When you go deeper, you have to push. Of course, you have to go use the throat. But there's a good balance in the voices I've used to don't overdo, at least so far. We'll see when we will have more of the new songs. Now we only play 2 or 3 new songs, When we will play maybe more, maybe it'll be tougher.
And as I know you can't speak for her per se, but have you seen that has she changed up her routine at all? Because like the stuff that she sings on this album sound more like demanding than anything she's ever done before. Has she had to change?
It's definitely more difficult for Christina to sing these songs. Although she also can apply some techniques to make it sound right without over pushing with the voice. But definitely these songs are more demanding than some other we've done in the past. Yeah.
This album's definitely not as radio friendly, let's say, as Broken Crown was, or definitely not Dark Adrenaline. Yeah. Is that why you do a song like the Madonna cover?
That is Live to Tell.
Live to Tell. I wanted to say Learn to Live. Learning, living. It has something to do with Live to Tell. Yes, Live to Tell.
It's a song that it's been a bonus track, basically. We put it as bonus track in the record. It's not in the 11 songs that actually made it to the first edition of the record. If you buy the Digipack or the iTunes download.
So I didn't realize that. I downloaded it on
and it is
I paid for it on iMusic.
It is with clean voice, but it's quite a doomy version of the song. It's not like...
As you guys do, actually, because you did that with Losing My Religion. Not that Losing My Religion was upbeat, but you definitely made it like Lacuna Coil style.
Yeah.
But it wasn't aimed to kind of be the one song that...
We started that song, the choice of that song was born because in Christmas last year, Marco is a favorite song of Christina, from her youth, and so she always loved to sing that song when it was raining outside, and she's kind of have a special attachment to the song. And so Marco, as a present for Christmas, recorded all the music in that version of the song.
Wow!
And so he gave it to her so she could sing it at home. And then she came up with this vocal line, and we thought it was pretty awesome and could fit in our style. So we said, why don't we use it for the record, maybe just as a bonus track, because it's not a very radiophonic version of the song. It's still quite low and low key and slow. It's actually a kind of a doomy song. So it was, and actually it's working out pretty well, but I don't think it's going to be a single. We'll see. I mean, you can never tell, but we didn't think it as a single for sure.
So the album just came out like officially like this week, like yesterday, right? Yesterday. So there's no telling how it's performing yet, right? But I mean,
we only know I got the iTunes dates because those are in real time,
So far, so good?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday it was #1 on iTunes in America, metal. number 3 rock, and number 10 overall, something like that. And number 1 in Italy as well on the rock chart, number 1 in Chile, South America, a lot of number 1 in Amazon.com on metal.
That's awesome.
So still pretty good.
So did you ever think after how many years now? 20 plus years?
Next year is gonna be exactly 20 years since we pick up the name for the band and we signed the deal and we record our first EP.
There you go. 8 studio albums, 20 years. Did you think in a million years you'd be headlining 20 years later in America?
No, not really, because we're a band from Milano, Italy, so that never really happened, and another band from our country made this kind of international recognition or success, and so it was really unexpected, and everything has happened in our career. Oddsfest, the Comalive success, the Karma Code selling so many records, and Spellbound on the radio, and all those things has been beyond whatever we could have imagined. We were thinking when we signed the deal with Century Media back in 96, 97, we thought that, maybe we're gonna release a few albums, maybe do a European tour or something, but never in our life we could imagine to tour the United States constantly or to play festivals like the Download Festival or Rock on the Range, or it's all been beyond every expectation for us.
So you signed at Century Media in 97, and you have to be the longest running band on that label, correct?
Probably, yeah. Surely we're the best-selling record, best-selling band
artist,
in terms of how
absolutely.
many records we have. So we've sold over 2 million records for Century Media. So
it's pretty amazing.
The record is an independent label. Now, this record is the first one is coming out since Century Media has been bought by Sony. So we'll see how it's going to. So far.
Hopefully there'll be more of a push, right?
The people we've been working with is always the same. It's just that the structure is bigger now because of Sony distribution and Sony publicity. So it probably could do even better than before. Well, we will see. I don't know. It's the first record out on Century Media Sony, so we have to see. Here's
to hoping. So past, present, now future. So this tour has got, you said, 10 more dates.
Yep.
Is there a European tour, another American tour?
We're going on the middle of June. Then in the end of June, we're starting with some summer shows in Italy and Europe. Not many, but just a few, 6 or 7 shows in the summer. Then we're gonna take a little break in the middle of August to the end of August for vacation, and then we start again in September with a couple more festivals. And then October we're going to Japan, China, and Australia headlining. Nice. And we're coming back to Europe and do the European tour headlining, and then probably America again in January, I think.
Wow, so it's going to be a full year cycle for you guys.
Yeah, so far, yes.
Fantastic. Andrea, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much, and hopefully everybody's going to like the record. Take a chance and listen to Delirium.
We already love it. Take care, man.
Thank you, guys.